Hey guys, back again with the Block Reach Dreadnought. Today we're going to do a little bit with scaling as a tip for today. I tend to like to use green stuff that's closer to the drying stage when I work scales. Typically, oops, sorry about that. What I usually do is I'll take and roll it out, sort of like this. Get me a nice little tube of the general size that I want for the scale. If I want a small scale, I'll roll out a real small tight tube. If I want a big scale, say I want something this size, I'd roll it out like that. But I want to work with a generally small size, which is this one here. So what I generally do is make sure I'm in frame here so you can see, is see where the got my roll it out into a line where I can get to it easy. Bring in my work or my piece I'm working on. In this case, it's the Dreadnought. And what I'll do is I'll take my fingernail, and just clip off a small little bit. Take and roll it just a touch, and drop it on the floor. Pick up another one, and just sort of attach it like that. Take my flattening tool. In this case is a clay shaper. Make sure it's damp, and just flatten it like that. Grab another little bite, roll it into a ball, stick it there close to it, and give it a little squish. You don't have to, if you want to, you can go back and clean up edges and shape it into a shape you like. But generally, the more chaotic the shape, the better it's going to look. So they don't all have to be exactly round or exactly triangle or whatever you want to make. You just make a random scale. And like I say, the sizes are going to vary. See, like this one here, I just cut off a little bigger piece. So I wanted a little bigger one right here in this little cutout. So the next one, the little corner right there, so it'll cut it tight. Make a smaller one. Say you clip off a little bit more than you want. Just go back in, cut it in half. Then take that little bit and just set it in. So this is like just enough to fill in that corner. Smooth it out. Stick her down. Take another little bit. Place it in. Flatten him down. Rinse and repeat a couple hundred times because this is actually pretty time consuming. It's going to take, this is not a quick process. Don't get discouraged or try to get in a hurry because it'll show in your work. But just generally just start picking out shapes. And I tend to like to work towards the edges. Then once you get to an edge, start up that edge. Because you see I started down this side here and got the front end. You sort of want this edge to be relatively uniformed. So you want to work that edge in. And just keep going down the edge. And then once you get clear to the other end, you come back in. I would almost say, go ahead and start the other side, other edge. And then once you're down all the way through, you just go in, fill in the middle. Like I say, as you work, say you want to, throw one out there like that, and you want one in between it. Cut you off a little bit, and you can actually sort of lay it on top, fill in the gap, make a little 3D object like that, so it's not completely flat and symmetrical. So you throw in little random ones like that every once in a while, just to, like this one here is a little big. It's okay, just make it overlap the ones that's around. So whenever you go through and you put your inks or whatever you're going to want, it's really going to sit in there and highlight those areas. It makes it really a nice little effect when you start painting. Every once in a while you're going to get one stuck up underneath your fingernails. Just clip you off another one. Which will make a big one. So you'll pull it out here and throw it out here somewhere where you can, just to have it out of the way. Flatten him out there, smooth him in a little bit, and start cutting you another one. And lay it in. And that's how I make the Van Hammer scales. Like I say, I could go ahead and finish that off, but basically, when once you get it finished, you come up with something like this. You see, you guys seen this several times before, but this is probably one of the last times you see it. But this is the scale. If you look, got them some higher and some lower, just random around. And you can see when you put the ink applied to it, how it sets down into the recesses and makes them all sort of stand up and glow. That's what we're working with. And you'll come up with something looking like that. This one here is what I did was actually lay down a piece of green stuff over an area that I like, sort of like a base, so I knew where all the scales are going to go. So to do that, basically to take your green stuff, like make you a little, like a skin or whatever. So you just want a little flap that sort of hangs over the front. Take and just put it on like that. You can shape it around a little bit if you want to. You can take and put tears in it or whatever. Let's say you wanted it to actually be like where it had been ripped. Just take and make your rip in it like that right there. So now you got something along those lines. This is just a demo to show you, but so now you've got a skin that's been draped over somebody. It's ripped and torn and gnarly looking. So once you get to that stage there, take just like we did on this section here, is you'll take your little tube and just start laying on dots. And you don't want to really go outside of the edges of the skin, because you kind of want that edge to be shown so they can see what's going on. So you just sort of bring it out to the edge and keep adding your dots. So now you'll start seeing more of a skin-like texture to it, where it's more of a trophy or something, sort of. And in these ripped out areas, you just scale down through the tears. And like, see that little bit there on the end? Say you want to leave that. You just leave it like that. And scale the rest of the way around. So, like I say, once you complete that section there, it'll look like something like this section right in here. That first section we did was sort of like this section down here, where I'm just covering the leg armor. And then this section here is just basically this section here. So that's how Van Hammer does scales and skins on Dreadnought. Same technique would apply if you can do it to a Land Raider. Say this is the corner of the Land Raider. You just drape a skin, do the corner, or just carry the scales. Scales say you start up here at the side. You want to go down to front of the Land Raider. You just come up to the corner. When you get to the corner, start down. And I would go, say, work the edge, go all the way up, all the way down, come across, come back up, and fill in the middle. And just randomly place these little circles. Say like over here on this side, this would be the side of a Land Raider you're working on. Is you would scale it, put your dot on, you come to the edge, add another little dot, carry it on. Fingers are getting dry, so this won't stick to me, but you get the idea. Now my tool's dry too, so I'm having a hell of a time. So we'll just take this off and make sure everything's damp. Replace the scale, working back in. Then you just carry that down, and then once you get to the edge, you start filling in the middle. And so wait a second, Van, you got this nice little edge right here. Make it really a small scale and stick it in to fill in that edge a little bit. And as I say, I forget a lot to make sure everything's good and damp so it don't stick, but what it does, just dampen it and then go back in and fix your scale. Smooth it out a little bit. And that's basically how to work an edge. Just to give you an idea, practice it a little bit. You come up with your own little tips and techniques for doing it. But that's a Van Hammer way of scaling. Guys, get a chance. I'm still working the Help for Heroes Foundation, or the Help for Heroes Raffle. Tongue-tied now. I'm still working the Help for Heroes Raffle here on YouTube. We've got 30, 40 different contributors right now. Going to be a big project. Got a web page and everything. I'll put links to everything in the description, which will take you to blogs and Facebooks and how you can get tickets and stuff like that for the raffle. But that's basically the Van Hammer way of making scales. And if you guys get a chance, go check out the Help for Heroes raffle and all the people contributing and sponsoring and stuff, and give them a shout out and see what they're doing. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next vid.